Hi, my name's Donna Barnes and I run and own two recruitment companies, one called Selwyn, which is an accountancy and finance specialist, and one called Kintota, which is a home care based company. I'm also the Vice Chair of Plymouth and Devon Chamber of Commerce. Even though I was born in Plymouth, I actually grew up in Birmingham, which you couldn't tell at the moment because of my accent has gone quite nicely. But I class myself as Plymouthian because my whole career history has been in Plymouth. Brought up with myself and my little sister by Spaghetti Junction, and initially at school I wanted to be a teacher. But as soon as I looked into the career necessities to become a teacher, i.e. university, the amount of time, all my friends will tell you my patience was no way was that going to get me there. So I left school and decided to go into the world of work. I'm really hands-on. I enjoy doing things. I'm an ideas person, I'm a creator, and that's what's brought me into what I do now, because recruitment is a ever-changing world. I think the main influences have been during my career, because I think they're the ones that really impact you because you can think through them and they have more of an influence on you. So my career influences, as I would put it, are Tony Robbins, the amazing Tony Robbins, and Richard Branson. I've just read his autobiography, and just pushing through adversity and sticking with your goals is really resonated with me. So as much as I did have people as when I was growing up, they influenced me, I think I've been more influenced over the last 20 to 30 years by others. I left school at 17, 18, and I actually decided to start up my own business, and I sold children's clothing from the back of a van, party plan. So I'd go to the wholesalers and I would buy the clothes, and then I'd do party plans and do nurseries. From there, I progressed into other small roles, some coffee shop management, etc. And then when I was mid-20s, I went to a recruitment company for a job. It was as a manager to look after Royal Mail, actually, a contract at Royal Mail. And whilst I was there, they said, do you know what, I think you'd be quite good in recruitment. I had no clue what recruitment was at that point. And they interviewed me. It was a large organisation, a national. They interviewed me, and the manager gave it to somebody else, and I asked for feedback, and he said, well, I got out of that side of the bed. If I'd got out that side, you would have had the job. And that actually spurred me on to go, right, I'm going to get a job in recruitment. I actually quite like the sound of this, and that's what I did. So I got a job with another organisation. I became an area manager, and I decided that recruitment that was delivered in the way that larger nationals with big contracts delivered them wasn't necessarily how I wanted to deliver recruitment. So I started my own recruitment company 10 years ago and have grown since then. So I do recruitment slightly differently in regards to I recruit on behaviours, and I work very closely with my clients. But most recently during lockdown, I have grown a passion for home care recruitment and absolutely fell in love with the difference it could truly make to people's lives if you provided the right level of care to them. So that's my new project that I'm now delivering and getting ready to go. So latterly, I've actually stood on or sat on a few boards, and it's been very interesting because on one where I met the CEO, he shook my hand and went, really nice to have you on the board. We need another woman. And to me, that wasn't necessarily why I was there. And I found that I want to be taken serious as Donna, not just because I'm a woman. And actually, I found it more discriminating, positive discrimination than negative, if I'm absolutely honest, in regards to being female. And I found it harder to say, look, I want to be taken seriously because I'm Donna, not because of my gender. It was quite interesting when I first sat on the board for the Plymouth and Devon Chamber of Commerce. I was actually, I think, one of 3 women there. I was the 3rd woman on the board, and they were very welcoming. Everything was wonderful. But for me, I found that quite daunting to sit around a a table of very powerful businessmen. But it didn't take me long to get over that. But that to me was in my head, not in anybody else's. If you are sat there and you're thinking that actually you've got imposter syndrome, I guarantee you most people around the table are. Predominantly women, and most of my girlfriends who I speak to have exactly the same issues. And it's not anybody else, but it's yourself. What you've got to do is you've got to sit there, you've got to remember why you're there. And in the case of the chamber, actually, I was voted in, and it was against 5 or 6 other people, and there was only one position, I believe, at that point, and I was voted in by the members, and I was there to represent them. So I had to remember that. But it's only yourself that has those doubts. Nobody else has those doubts out there around that table. So you've got to believe in yourself. You've got to, if there's any generic advice that I can give you, is don't worry about it. Don't worry about your evolving state. You will develop. I'm still developing. I'm 50 years old this year, and I'm still growing. I'm still learning. I'm still becoming who I am. I'm nowhere near that yet. I still have a long, long way to go. And I've just got to remember that actually it's all right to doubt yourself. It's all right to change your mind. The most important thing is that you stick to your beliefs, your morals, and your ethics. And if everything else fails, just put on a good pair of shoes, because they always win.